Before we get into this week's episode, I just want to take a second and apologize for not having an episode last weekend. Life happened. We had a death in the family, and then we had a birth in the family as well. So life got a little busy and a little messy. But again, just wanted to say thank you. I hope you all had a safe flight in and no turbulence. With that, I hope you have a good time with this week's episode. Welcome back to the Tears of Fire podcast, a podcast where I go over the Last Dragon Chronicles by Krista Lacey. And today we're going to be covering the part three, which is one big chapter, as well as the epilogue of the Fire Eternal. And today I am joined by special guests Lucy and Darien from the Eragon Pod. You guys want to say hi?
Hello.
Hello.
Awesome. Obviously, if the audience remembers, they joined me to start out this book, and I thought it would be awesome to have them return and close it out with me. I do think that the end of this book is very similar to the end of Firestar, where he kind of just jumbled everything up in the last chapter, and instead of making it several chapters, they're just, I counted 9 different shifts in point of view. So it was a little hard to keep in my notes and remember where we're at and what's happened and what's not. So this morning I was going through and trying to reread and get a quick little refresher. But
Uh-huh.
other than that, let's get into it. We got
Yes.
chapter 33, The Fire Eternal, part 3. And we start out up in the Arctic with Kalar, Avril, and David. I believe, if I'm getting this right, David was already in human form. He's already switched over in the previous section, and he's interacting with the bears using this shaman type, I wouldn't call it magic, but languages where he's able to communicate with anyone and everyone. Because later on, we get some, I don't want to spoil it, but we get some characters that return to see David that aren't polar bears.
Mm.
But we start out with Kalar, or Kalar. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He is the fighting bear that David has been traveling with, and he's thinking about his life, how he's been through a lot. He's been hunted. He's been through an avalanche that he survived as a cub, but he's never quite seen anything like what's going on, and he's never really felt quite as scared. David turns over to Avril and Kalar together, and they're both a little wary. And Avril starts wondering if Gwilanna's warning should have been heeded, that David was not to be trusted, and that he doesn't really have the bear's best interest at heart. David tries to calm them and let them know that there's nothing that the polar bears can really do, even though they're all gathered here in the central Arctic at this time. David also lets them know that at this point the bears can do nothing, but they're here to essentially be witness to what's going on. David turns over to, oh, that actually might be in the next one. Do you guys know if it's in this specific point of view or in the next one when we get back to the bears, if David tells Avril to share the story?
I think it's in the next one, but
I think it's in the next part.
Like, these also, like, it felt so like you said,
Rushed?
they're not clean chapter break. Rushed, knotted together. It just felt like
Yeah.
a bunch of different yarn, and it was like you left it in a bag and the cat got in the bag and you pulled it out and you're just trying to figure out how these threads are going. Like
Yeah.
I think the way you said it earlier is like, yeah, it's kind of a narrative mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yes.
trying to figure, because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I fully am like picking out, because as we mentioned the last time we were here, like I read these first 4 books when I was a kid. So I remember this vibe of, oh yeah, David is also a polar bear. And also maybe isn't a guy at all. Hold on. And then, but I didn't remember anything else that happened in this section. And I jumped on Wikipedia to read the whole summary of the book to be like, okay, let's get what's going on. I'll just catch up and then I have no idea what happened in this book, gang. I read the synopsis, and I think the synopsis even struggled to explain what was going on.
Yeah, actually, that brings up a good point, because I remember last time you guys were on, we kind of had a little guessing game on what had happened in the previous book to get to now where we are. So, Darian, if you went through the synopsis, you kind of get the gist of it. Lucy, did you do anything of that sort to kind of try to catch up?
Not really. But what I did do is because I listened to that gal on YouTube, the one who was reading the book, I listened to the her last video of reading this, and I think that helped me understand a little bit about what was going on because what she was reading had a lot to do with Tam and Lucy
Mm.
and like Zaina uh cursing him was what she read. And I was like, okay, so then it was like when it came in, this last part, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, boy, am I super glad that I actually listened to that because I know a little bit about like Tam's curse and what's up with Tam, just a tiny bit. And
Hmm.
so I wasn't super lost, but I was still just like, I'm just here for the ride, guys. Like I
Yeah,
don't know, like
absolutely.
I'm like the main pillar of what's going on. Literally no idea. I did get the sense of like that building. I'm like, oh, this is the climax of the book. Like this is the big like, oh, everything's coming together. But it feels very Darian, I liked your comparison to like yarn, like somebody just grabbing a bunch of yarn threads and like pulling them all together into this like mess. But
Yeah.
it was like it's really because for me it kind of felt rushed in like a mess, but I'm like I also like I could follow along, but I still didn't know what was going on, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. So here, let me give you guys a quick, if I can possibly make
Yes.
more sense of it for you
Yeah.
guys. Tam came in at the very beginning of the book, and
Mm-hmm.
he is a reporter that is
Mhm.
trying to do a story on David himself and the disappearance. And Tam is under the belief that David didn't really exist. He was telling
Ah.
Lucy and Xana when he was first interacting with them, saying that when he was doing his research, he could only get to David's records up to being in college, and then after
Yeah.
that, there was absolutely nothing. So there was questions on that, and then halfway through the book, we didn't actually know if David was alive or not. We didn't get that
Mm-hmm.
confirmed until I want to say we were like 300 pages in, and then he started kind of slowly revealing himself. And even now that you guys have read this last part, we know that he hasn't even showed himself to Xana or anyone
Mm-hmm.
in that part of what do they call it? Wayward Crescent until at
Yeah.
the end. But this whole book to me has been more. I mean, I guess when you're reading a series, each book is just a bridge to the next. But this one very much felt like a building of tension and a building
Mm-hmm.
of the world more so than a continuance of the story.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also felt that. I'm remembering feeling that when I did. Y'all ever read the Artemis Fowl books?
Yes.
I read the first one.
Oh wow. Really? Not okay. I don't know where to go with this. You should read the rest of them, or not. I don't know. But the sixth book, the Atlantis Complex.
Oh yeah.
No, that's the seventh book is the Atlantis Complex, and I remember reading it as a kid and feeling like this was a waste of my time.
Yes.
You were just building to the next one. This didn't do
Mhm.
anything that was important here. You were just setting up pieces for the last book. And I remember walking away feeling like, I don't think that was good, actually. And then the last book came out, and I liked that a lot as a kid. But yeah, that vibe of like, this book is just existing to get me to the next part.
Mhm.
And all stories are just things that happen, right? But I don't know. It feels like weird. Like, if you're just trying to build to the next part of the story, then just write the next part of the story and give me a Spark Notes flashback sequence in the next part. Like, if there's nothing here that's meant to be about what's happening in the moment. Does that make sense? Or am I just
Mhm.
Yeah,
being mean?
no, no, 100%. And I, like I said, when we were talking about earlier, and that where this last chapter is enormous and it's just shifts of perspective, I do think that was a fault of Chris, where it could have been a little bit more organized. I
Mhm.
understand that since this is, like Lucy was saying, the climax of the story, he
Mm-hmm.
wants to end it and he wants to put it all in one. But I think this would have been maybe better organized, because what I get, the reason why he did this, in my opinion, is because all of these events that are happening are supposed to be happening at the same time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of do multiple chapters, but I feel like there could have been a way to write that, even if it was like at the same time that this was happening over in Wayward Crescent, blah blah blah, with Liz and Lucy, but and then break it up into chapters that way. But he
Yeah.
didn't do that. So to me, it was a fault of Chris, maybe just getting rushing and trying to get into the next book as well.
Yeah. Because I think like Oh, go ahead, Darren.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, just because we're going through Eldest right now, Paolini does that. He goes because we had talks about this in our podcast where Paolini is right. Because I always thought I'm like, oh, this is happening. Like, Rowan's perspective is happening. Like, this is when Aragon's fleeing stuff, and Darian's like, no, 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 it's the same time. It's the same time. Whatever when the Rowan chapters we're reading is happening at the same time as the Aragon chapters, and I think Paolini does that by breaking it up into different chapters. So I think if Delaney did it as like maybe even just short chapters, maybe it would have felt less rushed, maybe. But yeah, that's just my thoughts.
I think the other thing is that just if I can attack it mechanically, right? Not like just setting aside the fact that I'm like, I really don't know what's going on. And I also feel like you, Chris, changed your mind dramatically about what kind of story you were writing here.
Yeah.
Dog. I'm going to call you out. This isn't what you were going to do when the author was writing about a squirrel. I don't believe you. But setting all that aside, the problem, I think the biggest issue with because I think, Diego, you're exactly on point. It's cutting like this because everything is happening in the same moment. And that can work when you're feeling high stakes and tension about like, ooh, this is happening and we cut to this and this is... But the problem is that I think we see the resolution of how an event that happened somewhere else actually impact what is going on in this scene before we see what happened over there. And so when we get to this other part, there's no tension there because we know that's not how it played out. Like, if we may skip ahead for a second, if that's okay,
please.
to just when we get to this big, like, this is the point, the dragon's eye has been open, we're everyone's being called together to get this message and get this vibe. Basically, just massive vibe check is being sent out across. All of a sudden, like, and David is leading this up in the North Pole, and he has this moment of, like, concern, because he's worried about Alexa. And we don't know why as the reader. We just know, well, we know things are not good, because we know something's wrong with Lucy and Liz and everything, but we don't see what's going on in that moment. And it was described really well, where there's a moment where it seemed like everything goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen. The moment passed, and everything is fine. And so then we jump over to what's happening back at the Penny Kettle house, and we see that is it pronounced Aish? How are we pronouncing
I've just been saying Ix. I have no
I've
clue.
done Ix, yeah.
Ix, okay. The Ix that is possessing Lucy is threatening Alexa, and he's going to make her distract David, and then when they have David's attention, he is going to kill her to cause that pain and strife that David feels to spread out across the world and ruin what he's doing in that moment. But we know that doesn't happen because we just saw that play out. And the reason it doesn't happen is because Xana and Gwilanna show up and they save the day, and we have a big fight with the cat and the dragons, all that stuff. And it's super, actually, that's super fun. I really like that sequence. But it's like, why didn't you cut when David was distracted? Why didn't we cut straight to that scene to see what was going on?
Actually,
Why did you tell me it was all
I would have
good?
liked that. Yeah. Almost TV like, where you just get a cut break mid action, and yeah. That's actually a very good point.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Tam stuff is the same because we see over on the island with the monks and stuff, and they're all possessed and they have the Darkling. And we know that doesn't work because we also saw how everything plays out.
Yep.
And so it felt like a very odd choice to show us. It felt like the choice was to be like, oh, we know everything is okay, and here's why. But I wasn't asking, why did it all work out? I want to know that it all works out. But you cut the tension by telling me everything is going to be fine.
Yeah,
and that felt weird in a sequence that felt like it was cutting so quickly to rise the tension. Sorry, Lucy, please go on.
No. I was gonna add. I was like, no, I agree. It was almost like Delaney was like, "Don't worry, guys. Everything's okay. I'm gonna bring you into the tension, but don't worry, it's fine." It was like him trying to reassure his readers that no, everything works out. We're gonna go into like this high tension, like, oh, things might not work out, but you know that it's okay, so don't worry.
The only tension we have is whether or not Liz is going to die.
Yeah.
And that would suck, to be sure, but also if Liz dying is not going to break the world. And you told me the world is going to be fine. So what are we doing here, Gay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting, because maybe my reading comprehension isn't on your guys' level quite yet, but when I was reading it, I was just more confused than anything because of what you were just saying of he was giving us all this tension, but yet reassuring us that everything is going to be fine and going smooth.
Hmm.
And then we
Mm-hmm.
would cut back into these other perspectives where there was tension building and building and building, and
Yeah.
we hadn't got quite yet to it being solved in a way. And then, in my
Uh-huh.
opinion, here, let's actually just move on because I have
Please,
some more
yes.
points to that. So we do get the view change, and we can kind of sum up this because it goes pretty quick. Xana is stuck in traffic. She's not sure what's going on. She's seeing people holding onto David's book. It comes to a standstill, and she sees people getting out of their cars and starting to walk. Eventually, Gwilanna shows up in bird form. Gwendolyn, the dragon that's with her, is able to reassure her that it is Gwilanna. It's not just some random bird. Liz
That's
had
not
given,
reassuring.
yeah, yeah,
I'd
and
rather
we
it
get
just be
that
a random bird.
interaction.
That's actually not very reassuring.
And we
Like,
also
dang,
get
this
that
bitch.
with, yeah, with Xana saying that she would kill Gwilanna right there, and Gwilanna saying,
Hmm.
"Oh well, I think there's a line for that kind of thing." Um,
God, she's
so
so
they're
sassy. I actually
obviously,
do love her. I haven't seen her since the start of, or the start of the last book
oh,
when
book
we
two,
met her.
really?
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, and I'm like, God, she sucks. But seeing her, there's like, listen, there's a line of people who want to kill me, and all of her shenanigans in this
Yeah.
sequence, it's like, oh, dang, I'm having fun. You're a monster, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah, she's been kind of crazy, especially. I mean, we see the thing that she gave Xana, the Mark of Amara. She tells Xana that she gave that to her for a reason. And when we were you guys on for that section when she gave
Nope.
Xana? No? Okay. So the Mark of Amara is essentially what helps Xana. Xana was already a Sybil, but that
Uh huh.
helps her harness and focus her powers. Like if she like you guys read in this section, she thinks
Yeah.
on it and then makes the connection with her fingers. It kind of just amplifies them, is what I
Hmm.
would
Yeah.
say. But so Gulana coaches her through becoming a bird, saying that that's going to be the fastest way to travel back
Mm-hmm.
home. Xana finally gives in. It takes her a second, but she's able to pop into bird form. She tells Gwendolyn to hop on her back, and then they start flying out. So then we actually go back to the Arctic, and then the dragons show up with David. There's Gadzooks, Graith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gollygosh, and Groin. And to me, this was, I didn't get the reunion that I wanted. It didn't feel to
Oh.
me,
Mm.
Uh
we've
huh.
spent the past really, because all of Firestar, David and Xana were out on their adventures up in the
Uh huh.
Arctic, not really home. And then this entire book, Fire Eternal, no mention, no connection. And so I figured when, especially with Gadzooks, who is our main guy throughout this whole
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
I didn't feel as though there was a big enough like, oh my God, thank you, I love you, where have you been kind of a thing from either side. It felt like David was more, uh, how would you say it, more
Let's get down to business.
David
indifference.
doesn't feel like
Yeah.
a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
feels so distant. He's
Hmm.
so other now in a way that he most certainly wasn't like that when we were here for the very first episode we were on
Yeah.
and we actually got to see him as a character. He's just ethereal. He's like giving being beyond the stars. He's
Yeah.
not human.
Yeah.
And so it feels like he's not having a human, like he seems pleased to see the little dragons. But like you said, it doesn't feel like this deep reunion of these friends that should have happened after him being dead, basically,
Mhm.
to them for 5 years. And even though David's been like, I'm alive, but still, you haven't seen your friends in 5 years, you'd have more of a emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, the very get down to business in a way that doesn't feel like a human reaction.
Yes.
Not at all. And you guys hit that right on the head that David is no longer really a human because after his death in Firestar, he him and Ingvar the bear were separate characters, and then they
Oh.
both died. And there were polar bears that placed themselves in the four cardinal directions around them, and then drowned their bodies into the ice. And then David had actually died with a spear of ice through the chest. But they explain that the ice is where the fire star was coming from. So he's able to, when they came back through the Fane world, David is
Mm-hmm.
now part human, part polar bear, part dragon through Gwyn's energy too. So he's
Oh,
very much
interesting.
a beyond the stars character.
Yeah. Which I think, okay, I want to, let me reset a little bit because I think the David no longer reacting as a human being is perfectly reasonable for what he experienced because of you died with a spear of ice through your chest. You're part polar bear, part guy, part dragon. Like you have this deep priority of you got to save the world against this like force. Like all of that tracks. But then we add on the whole, hey, is he real? Are you human? And the answer is sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
and the fact that when they tried to go to his parents' house, it just didn't exist, suggesting that you've actually never been a human guy, David.
Mhm.
And that's where it reads as weird because we were in your POV beforehand. We know how you reacted beforehand. You aren't having any feelings to the fact that you are different now because I think it's meant to imply you've always been like this.
Mhm.
Okay, so I actually wrote that here in my notes a while ago, and I mentioned it in, I don't know, it's been at least like 3 or 4 episodes, but
Please.
I agree with exactly what you're saying, and then what you said earlier about Chris changing what he wanted to write with his story
Uh-huh.
from originally when he was writing about David and squirrels. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I had it in here that there's no way you planned for David to become this character because otherwise we would have had sprinkles or some hints or some kind of
Foreshadowing.
foreshadowing
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
past. And yeah, so there's no way that this was where the story was supposed to go.
There's a thing I remember from the first book. Don't ask me how. You know your brain just holds things. It's not even
Yep.
important detail. David drops eggshells in the sink. And Liz is like, we don't do that in this house. And he's like, sorry, I grew up doing it at my house. So I'll make sure
Hmm.
not to do that in the future. Just like
Yes.
it's a scene that's meant to demonstrate the growing pains of living in a new place and like realizing that the way you did things growing up just isn't the way everyone does things. And that like really real, really human experience of being out in the world and finding out that other people's houses are different than your own.
Mhm.
How does he have that if he didn't have a house, Chris?
Yep.
100%. Yeah, just inserting fake memories, just trying to make it feel
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So after some interaction between David and the dragons, they catch up a little bit, and Gadzooks has a moment where he's telling David what's going on, and for the first time in forever, Gadzooks can feel the inspiration coming through him and his notes.
Uh-huh.
He's just writing furiously and telling
Mhm.
David what happened with the penny kettles, Xana, Alexa, Arthur. He's catching everything up that he remembers and everything that the dragons can all pour in together.
Mm-hmm.
After this, David is upset with himself, I think, because he didn't predict or he didn't see what was going on over in Farlow Island and he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
taking the proper precautions. So after this, David orders Kalar, the fighting bear, to break open the eye. And it didn't seem after there was that talk between Kalar and Averill and David that there's any kind of hesitance. It says that the bear
Yeah.
won't be rushed anymore,
Yeah.
but the he listens to David, he takes the eye, he smashes it and pushes it with both paws, and then David uses Grith to, well, actually first hmm, I'm not sure which comes first between Graith and Golly Gosh, but I know he uses Graith to make a wish and wants to make a connection with the listening dragon Grace. And
Yeah.
we haven't heard or interacted with Grace in over 2 books
Yeah.
since
Mhm.
She went with the girlfriend.
yeah,
Yep.
way long time at the end of book 2. And even then Sophie wasn't even in book 2 until the last chapter when they were finally making David break up with her because of Sam.
Just
Um
what?
He was running around with the hot goth baddie the whole time.
yeah, and she apparently she's still a knockout because Tam was just entranced by her when he showed up too. So,
Of
I
course.
mean, it's good to know that Xana keeps consistent.
Yeah.
Uh, but so during this whole time, he's making connections. He's using Graith, and then when the wish is finished, David is asking to make a connection to all who is searching out the eye and the ice fire. And
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, I could be wrong, but from what I gathered of it, it was the Northern Lights that were
Yeah.
interacting with everything and then
Yes.
spread out and
Yep,
kind
that
of
That
was kind
felt
of how
right.
I imagined
Yeah.
it too. Yep.
okay, perfect. In the spirit arena is what they were calling it, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool. I mean, everything I've ever watched and read when it came to the Northern Lights has always been that form of spirituality or of importance
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
I remember one of my favorite Disney movies back in the day was Brother Bear.
I knew
Oh,
Um,
you were gonna. You, of
yes.
course, you're a Brother Bear kid. I could just
yeah,
tell.
I absolutely loved it, and so that brought that back to me full force when I was reading. I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh man, this is just like Kenai."
Yep.
It's
Yep.
so good.
So good.
All right.
Hey, on
Oh,
on that part, did you feel that it was weird that we didn't then cut to Grace?
Yes.
okay. So this is actually what I wanted to bring up when you were talking about this. So I didn't think that there was any form of. I guess you're right. Just there was no mention of Grace. We didn't cut to Sophie at all. There
Yeah,
was
like did it
no.
work?
There
Yeah.
was
It must have, but like why didn't we get to see it?
none of that. And then what you guys were saying earlier about how we know that the story ends up fine, everything works out, but we didn't get to see it. Even with Tam and
Yeah.
everything going on over there, Tam
Yeah.
doesn't know what helped him stop everything. There's no explanation other than
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bachman
Yeah.
Ex
It
Literally.
Machina.
felt really unsatisfying. I think maybe that's
Hmm.
why the scene in the penny kettle backyard is my favorite because we actually get to see all those beats play out and the
Yeah.
stakes and the choices everybody's making in those moments that get this outcome where everything works. Whereas in the other sequences, it's just, and thank goodness there were things happening elsewhere that resulted in things working out. And it feels really unsatisfying in those two sequences in like the monk, the island wherever Tam is at, and then in the North Pole. But in the Penny Kettle Garden, that feels like it works because we
Hmm.
actually see the choices that are made for the outcome.
Yeah.
What's up, Ida?
I
Yeah.
always thought that when I read it the first time and just like now talking about it, I think how it should have been placed is like if Delaney was going to keep everything the way it was, he should have taken that moment where they finally crack open the eye. He should have taken that out and put it at the end after all everything we've seen. So it like David's POV ends when because it doesn't really say what's going on, but like those portals open and then he's like all these different shapes come to him and then we cut to Zaina in traffic, I think. And I'm like, it should have cut right there, and then we do not come back to David until after after the backyard scene, after Tam's whole thing, and then we play. Oh, they crack open the eye,
Yes.
and then once the eye, oh, I hit my mic. Once the eye is open, then we move on to the next, like whatever the like end scene is. It's
Yes,
like
I
that's how
agree
it should have
completely.
been.
Yep, I think that works out much better.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would help because, like I said, that's what confused me is I wasn't sure what the heck was going on, and
Yeah.
so that would definitely make things more streamlined, at least especially for younger readers. These books are aimed for
Yes,
These
young
old
yes.
kids.
books are
I was
for kids.
literally
Like,
thinking
I'm
that.
32 and I'm like, what are we? I've got all this tangled up yarn. Like, Chris, what do you want me to do with this?
Like the freaking little Lucy trying to read Eldest, and I couldn't actually read Eldest. I would not have been able to read these books. Like I would have been like, "What is happening?"
Probably
Yeah.
a reason
Oh
I
my
didn't try to
gosh.
track him down after I
Yeah.
read this one. Then the
Yeah.
next one came out the following year, and there's maybe a reason I didn't go looking for it. Because I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm not really sure what happened. I think I'm
Yeah.
done, Chris.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's sad about it is that up until this point, it's been pretty streamlined, pretty straightforward, easy to follow. It's always his last 2 or 3 chapters when he's trying to make everything okay, bang, 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 that it confuses you, or at least for me, man. So,
You know what? Yeah, that's Diane Wynne Jones, the author of Howl's Moving Castle.
I was literally thinking that. I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna be this literally sounds like the House Moving Castle book. Literally, same thing.
Where it's Howl's Moving Castle and it's Castle in the Sky and House of Many Ways. Like those are the only 3 books by her I ever read. But they all have the same thing where you have the plot and everything's moving on at a good pace and you're getting character and adventure and narrative and then at the very last chapter and a half, suddenly it's like boom, she's like got a deck of cards and she's just throwing them at you Gambit style, just trying to like speed run through all these major plot points and revelations and like the curse is broken, the witch is gone, this, and I'm just like, Diane, why did you do this? You had the whole book
Yeah.
to sprinkle any of this in. Is it a British author thing? No. Not to besmirch all British authors.
That I have a question about that. I feel like I've heard of that. Was that a Studio Ghibli
Yes.
film as
Yeah.
well?
They
Okay, all right. I was gonna
adapted
say I've
the
seen the
Howl's Moving
film.
Castle.
Was that
Yeah.
based off of a book? I didn't even know that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So if you really enjoy it, I always recommend the book, even though the last chapter is like, whoa.
It's so
But it's
crazy.
it's very much same characters, completely different plot. So if you
Interesting.
so the movie, it has all the same characters, it has this like story plot. The book is complete. It's like the same, but also very
It's so
different.
Miyazaki is strong anti-war messaging
Yes.
in his narratives. Like, so
Okay.
that is what he picks out in Jones's book, and he
Mhm.
really pulls on that
Tries to
thread.
demonstrate
And
that.
there is like an anti-war vibe in the book Howl's Moving Castle, but that's like not the main focus. Is a lot more of like internal strife.
Yeah.
But I think they're both very good for their own
Yeah.
reason. I bought a special edition version of the book that came out recently, because it was illustrated by the author of The Bakery Dragon.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
so but the one thing I really, really like about the Howl's Moving Castle book is that it articulates the nature of Sophie's magic in a way
Yes.
that the movie never really does.
Yes.
And I think that's excellent. So
Yes.
I highly recommend anyone who likes the Howl's Moving Castle movie, I do think you'd also like the book. As Lucy said,
Agreed.
it's the same characters, they're in a very different type vibe, but you feel it there.
Yeah, you also get to spend a lot more time with Sophie's sisters, and I don't know why
Yes,
that
they have-
aspect stuck with me, but I really enjoyed like
They have
Sophie and
some
her
good stuff.
sisters and their dynamic and just the
Mhm.
sisterly bond and love between all of them. So good. So good.
It's really charming.
Yeah.
And then also, Castle in the Sky was really fun. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Castle in the Sky or
I feel like you're correct. I know it's like
Castle in the Air? Castle in the Sky
ah.
is another Ghibli movie. Castle in the Air is the sequel to Howl's Moving Castle. It's different. It's got like 1001 Arabian Nights type vibe, and
Mhm.
that can go either way when you have a British person writing it. But it's pretty fun. And then don't read House of Many Ways.
It's been so long. I just remember that title because I have a friend that's super into the Studio Ghibli movies, and isn't that an older movie? I want to say I watched that when I was like
Early
probably
2000s,
11 or
yeah.
12.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, crazy.
Yeah, the book is from the late 80s. So
Mhm.
the
Oh, it's
movie
even older.
adaptation is from yeah,
Yeah.
an 80s British fantasy series.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'll have to look into it because I've always liked those movies too. I remember watching Ponyo and what is it, My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah,
I grew up-
I grew up with Kiki and My Neighbor Totoro, and then I
Lucy's
think
a Kiki girl.
yes, and then I think The Howl's Moving Castle and Princess Mononoke were the ones I watched after those. So it's like those four are like my like childhood.
And I really
Gotcha.
like Spirited Away.
Spirited Away
Yes,
is so
I've seen that
good,
Yeah.
so good.
But we're talking about dragons.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the
dragons. Yes,
podcast.
going back.
So we get the interaction with David and Graith, and then Golly he puts down his toolbox, and he's got the ability to whatever's tools needed flies out to him, and
Which
he's
is
able to
I
fix.
love that.
Love that.
I love that concept. It's so good.
I thought it was interesting because when Golly was introduced, he was supposed to be a healing dragon, but to me, I get more the vibe of a DIY dragon. You know, like,
Yeah.
I need my toaster fixed. Will you help me with that kind of a thing?
Mhm, mhm.
But so
I guess fixing things is a form of healing.
Yeah.
heals the soul. But
There you go.
he gets a narwhal tusk that
Yeah.
flies into his hand, and we do know that this is what Groin transforms into when he was with Bergstrom to kind of help him harness the shaman powers, not toilet paper. You don't do that. But so the Eye of Gwaine then wakes up. I thought this was an interesting visual, at least picturing it in my mind, since there's
Mhm.
no other body other than this, what I picture a flat eye that's maybe like an inch or two thick, because it's got to be huge, right? It's a dragon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's glistening. It's starting to get wet with saline in it. The different layers of how lizards' eyes are starting
Yeah.
to peel back.
Yeah.
The description is on point.
Yeah, I could almost see it because I live over here in Oregon, and one of the big things when I was younger is we would go out if we were going fishing or going hiking. We'd catch those little lizards, and we just have fun with them, and then release them and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
when you look at their eyes, the way that it would open up, it was always so
Yeah.
Yeah.
interesting. But so there's a ring of green light around it, and then that's when it starts flowing and going out. Is when we get the next cut. But before that, Gadzooks gets some more inspiration as he's swallowed by the light, and he just
Mm-hmm.
writes down the name Goreel.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was just writing, "Is this a new dragon?" Question mark.
Right. Right. Okay. Who is Goreel?
Yeah.
That didn't get answered? We didn't find that out
Nope.
in the end of the book, right? Is that supposed to be the kid that Liz is pregnant with? That may or may not be okay after the incident? Like,
Yep.
That's an interesting theory. I will say that we do get the answer in the prologue of Darkfire.
oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
so
I'm glad.
it was nice and quick. It just wasn't in this one. So, we'll
Okay,
figure.
that's meant to be tantalizing to get you to come back for the next book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because for me,
yeah.
I was like, as me knowing absolutely nothing about this, I'm like, is this a name drop? Do we know this? Do we not know this? I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, nothing. I just knew it had to be dragon related because it's always a G name, and especially if there's a G and apostrophe, it seems to be that those are I'm gonna say dragons proper. They're not the
Oh, okay.
little clay dragons. They're the big boys.
Dragon proper. Okay, I get you.
All right, but then that's going to take us into the third shift. We're going back to the Penny Kettle house, and Liz is just elated to see Lucy. At the end of the last section that I did, Lucy was transported back by the Ix under the Ix control through a portal, and she had been missing for quite a while. She was taken when they went to go find David's address that didn't exist. Her and Tam were shot through the portal, abducted by the monks. Lucy was forced to create this thing called the Darkling,
Yeah.
which is like a anti-dragon, essentially,
Mhm.
made out of solely. So their dragons are made out of clay. The Darklings are made out of obsidian, and they're just supposed to
Oh,
be natural enemies in that way. But so Lucy is obviously under control of the Ix in a trance slash mind controlled, and Liz is walking up to them. Alexa, David's little daughter, she can feel that something's wrong, that it's not quite where it's supposed to be. Bonington, the cat, is over in the side of the yard as well, and he's
Freaking
starting
out.
to hiss. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's not
starting
having a
to
good time.
Not good
puff
time.
up. And if anybody has cats, I know you two do, but you can just picture it when they're all starting to get like puffed up. The best way I can describe is
Yeah.
like a puffer fish, but
Yeah, they just
Yeah.
fluff.
They do the
Yeah.
full-on floof.
They just
Yep.
make themselves bigger because they're really freaked out.
Yep.
yeah. And so Alexa's screaming, "Auntie, Auntie." Liz is not paying attention. Obviously, as a mother who
Yeah.
had a daughter that was missing for a long time, obviously you're going to want to go to them immediately. And
Yep.
so
And ran away. That was where the narrator I was listening to on YouTube, she ended with Lucy running away from home.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
yeah, and
Okay.
so that's as far as I knew. But I was like, oh yeah, so no mom with daughter ran away, doesn't know where she is. Of course she's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And so, oh, go
Liz
ahead.
and
My bad.
Lucy. No. I was just gonna say, like, we don't get in Liz's POV for this whole section, but
Mhm.
Liz, from what I recall, like, they are magical in a sense, like not in the same way that like Xana is or David or Alexa, but they have vibes. So I would be surprised if Liz didn't have a thing in her head that was like something's wrong, but she's just ignoring it. But again, this is me
Yeah.
totally projecting. I'm also a little surprised we don't get her POV in this sequence because that would have been so shocking.
That would have been
but I
really
guess-
interesting, yeah.
I don't know. Do we usually get Liz POVs or is she not typically a POV character, I guess?
I would say we got a lot of her POVs in the early books, but in the
Okay.
last two, she's been kind of a side character. She's been
Oh,
more
interesting.
put towards the taking care of the household while everybody else is off having their
Oh, hey, that
adventures.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that sucks. What the
Literally.
hell? Hey,
Yep.
Chris, what's up with that?
Yep.
But I don't know. Just I guess maybe I'm just giving her a lot of credit because I always really liked Liz's character. But I could see, as like you said, Lucy, like as a mom who's been so scared for her daughter and she's just happy she has her back. Like it's obvious something's wrong. Everything's
Yeah.
wrong. But I could see her ignoring that because she's just so relieved her daughter's back.
Yep.
Yeah. And so Liz is, I wouldn't say running over, but she's hurrying over to Lucy. They embrace real quick, and Liz is asking her if she's okay, what's going on. And with a sleight of hand, Lucy brings out this obsidian knife that she was given by the Ix.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, when I first read this, I thought she kind of just like gutted her almost from the front, but it
Oh,
sounds
okay.
like more
I
they
think it's
were embracing, hugging, and then it was like a slice across the back.
Back.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
from kidney to kidney.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, which
And
is dark for a kid's book, is what I
Dark
would
for
Yeah.
say.
a kid's book.
really dark. The just not like, oh, a line across her back or anything. It's literally kidney to kidney. I'm like, whoa,
Mhm.
that's a little descriptive.
That's deep.
Yep.
Yeah, you had to get in there. And then so this freaks Alexa out even more. And then at this
Understandably.
point, Lucy is still under the X's control, and that's when she grabs Alexa and she's talking to Alexa saying, "You need to call out to your father. If you call out, he's going to be distracted, and then when you're dead is when he'll be even more hurt to where he can't go through with his plan."
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
to me, this is like when we were saying how it's happening at the same time. This is when David was distracted a little bit because it said that he thought he heard Alexa calling out to him in distress, but
Yeah, he
just
felt.
for a moment. And
Yeah.
but something pretty cool happened. Gwendolyn knew that it was kind of her, or no. Actually, what happens is the two birds come, Gwilanna
Yeah.
and Xana, and they knock Alexa out of Lucy's hands, and as well as the knife, if I'm
Yep.
remembering that
They
correctly.
knocked. Yep.
And so they start to get into a little bit of a tussle. Xana's screeching at Alexa in bird form, telling her to run away, which is interesting because I would like to. We have two crows that have been hanging out in the backyard, and I've not really like been attempting hard, but like I know that you can become friends with them. So like I left a little
Mhm.
Mhm.
gum wrapper the other day and a really shiny dime, and the gum
Nice.
wrapper was gone. So I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
Um,
A little
it might have
little
just been the
treat, a little
wind.
shiny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Might have been just the wind.
I
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
think that I'm making friends. But
Yeah.
I would
Make
like to
friends with the
hear,
crows.
Yes,
yeah,
do it.
I would like to hear what the screeching sounds like for them to be talking because Gwilanna was able to communicate with them, and
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
obviously Xana too. But so during this time, the Fane starts to tussle with Gwilanna as well. I don't know if Xana switches back into human form right at this instant, but during this
Mm-mm.
section, she does too. And Gwendolyn can tell that Gwilanna is going to lose this battle. So Gwendolyn reaches out in her dragon mind to kind of uh,
Yeah.
distract the Ix.
Like tempt. That's kind of how
She
she's
does something with
tempting
the solar panel.
the solar panel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
makes
gets.
it really. She makes herself really bright. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
It was
I
really
just
cool.
remember her landing on it,
Mm-hmm.
but she is an IT dragon, so I'm sure that's what
Yeah.
she did. She like opened it up and maybe amplified her own
Yes,
Mhm.
I think that's what.
consciousness.
She was pulling like the energy from that into herself to make
Yeah.
herself
Yeah.
literally brighter. To, like you said, tempt the
Yep.
Ix and get it to go for her.
Yeah, and she had gotten information from Grayeth. She knew that when they're trying to commingle, there's a little tickle in the ear. So it says that as soon as she feels that, she goes into solid form, and that's
Yes,
able to stop the Ix.
that
It's
And
so
was
then,
good.
so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just literally used this like natural element of the nature of these little dragons that was
Yep.
introduced so long ago in this
Yep.
really cool fight sequence. Like I was delighted. I was
Yes.
like, oh, you're
Agreed.
so smart.
Yep. Yep.
and I wasn't sure if that was good foreshadowing or if that was just good happenstance for the author. He's like, "Ooh, I've been writing this, and that works
Probably.
out perfectly."
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're writing, you realize you've created a thing that actually works perfectly.
Yep.
You already have it here. You don't have to go back and edit. You're like, wait, I already did this. Oh,
Yep.
good for me. I'm going to
Yep.
use it here. It solves this problem.
Yes, exactly.
But so that allows the Ix to be out in the open, even though it's technically invisible. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, Lucy's kind of been knocked down,
Yeah.
and Alexa runs over to her and grabs this intertwined hair, which is part of the ancestor Gwendolyn, the real person, not the dragon, but
Yeah.
Gwendolyn, the person, as well as some polar bear hair, and then runs over to
And Lucy's been
Bonington.
wearing this around her neck. Like, I couldn't understand where.
Yeah. I
this was
thought she
coming from.
ripped out a chunk of her hair. This
Yeah.
because I'm like, did Alexa just like rip out Lucy's hair? I don't really
Yeah.
understand.
Gotcha. So, okay, so in Firestar, when everything was going on, Gwilanna had captured Lucy and taken her to the Tooth of Ragnar.
Uh-huh.
And in that time was when the Fane first showed up and locked Gwilanna into bird form. That's why Xana had to be the one to transfer her back out. She kind of lost a
Mm-hmm.
lot of her powers. And when Gwilanna was trapped in ice, Lucy was completely alone, but she explored the caves in there. And in
Uh-huh.
the caves was where she found the original resting place of Gwendolyn and a polar bear protecting her. And in
Oh.
that space is where she found this relic, is what I'm going to call it. And
Okay.
so, what I always pictured is like they they intertwined it in their hair, how maybe like how Indians would put the beads or feathers
Yeah, it's like
in
hair
interlocked
decor.
into it. Yeah,
Okay.
like hair decor. That's what I pictured. But it might have been around her neck. I'm not quite sure, but that's
Yeah,
what had to be accessible.
Mhm.
yeah, so Lucy's just been wear. I think that makes sense because, like you said, Luce, it describes Alexa as pulling it like from her hair, and I was like,
Yeah.
that can't be right. That seems
Yeah.
like, well, especially when you find out what it is and it's not Lucy's own hair. That I was like, okay, then
Yeah.
was it around her neck? But no, Diego, that makes sense if it's like this
Yeah.
piece of hair decor that Lucy has just been wearing in her own hair
Yeah. That
for
makes more
5 years.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Babes, this
Yep.
is
Uh,
a relic. You can't be. That can't be every day. That's gonna disintegrate.
I was gonna. It sounds like a very Lucy move, honestly.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Just being
You're
like, I'm just
right.
gonna wear this in my hair, no big deal.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and
little
so I
Alexa
wasn't
grabs
actually
that.
sure. Oops, sorry. What were you saying?
No, I was. Go on. I was good. I said
Oh,
Alexa
okay.
grabs that, but no.
Yeah.
I just also wasn't sure what was going on with Bonington and Alexa. We didn't get any scene from that, just that she was kind of hunched over. So I would have liked to see what Alexa was doing in order to help Bonington change.
Yeah,
But
I thought did she just put it around? That's why I thought it was a necklace. I was like, did she just put it on the cat like a little collar, and that inherent
Yeah.
magic
Attached
got?
to like his fur or
I
something.
don't
Not
know
sure.
that I kind of pictured almost like him smelling it like catnip and then making him go
Oh, yeah, just
crazy.
Yeah.
in front of the nose a little
Yeah.
bit. That's hilarious.
But so Bonington grows to quadruple his size and
Uh huh.
picks a panther form,
Yeah, he
and
turns into a
then
polar bear for like a second, and then decides, no,
yeah,
no, not for me.
Yep.
yeah, and then Gwillan is telling Xana that she needs to help Bonington because he can't see the Ix.
Mm-hmm.
So Xana starts chanting. Oh, I actually believe she's still in bird form because I remember
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
She's
crowing.
in bird form.
Yeah, and she's using the petals that they used as kind of a memorial for David to cover this thing so that they can get a visual. And it's
Yeah.
given kind of a grotesque description where it's got a short, stubbed face, it's got two tails and dinosaur spines running down its back.
Mm-hmm.
But then Bonington is able to kill it, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't think we could kill these things. Just
Cats
kind
are
of
magic.
nice.
Cats are
Especially this
magic.
cat. But I also liked the description of it because it felt like it was meant to be like almost something that looks like a corrupted dragon. Like
Mm-hmm.
to add this visualness to this entity that is so antithetical to, it seems like, the purpose of dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that as a visual thing.
Yeah. So after that, we get the fourth shift and we go over to Tam. We're on Farlow Island, which is over in like Scotland area.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's what we know about Farlow Island is this was a resting place of one of the old dragons. They also use this
Mm-hmm.
as a breeding grounds because it's an old volcano. And this is the place where all the monks are being controlled by the Ix, and they're trying to bring forth a distraction for David. They eventually give all these monks upgrades and mind control them and walk them out into this mini, what would you call it, like a
For
four
Foyer.
foyer
foyer.
Yeah,
foyer.
I know
foyer.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just a bunch of stones all together. Might have been something ancient, and they have to connect and bring, just an unbroken chain in order to create this chant.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, Tam realizes that because of the Mark of Omara that Xana gave him, he's not under full control of the Ix. They describe it as 1/10 of his brain still being intact and being resistance.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was interesting that the Ix wasn't able to feel that and then try to
Yeah.
fight with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and That was interesting. But so the monks are in this unbroken chain and they start chanting. And through this chanting, Tam can feel energy shifting, something going on. And then there's this projection of the old dragon. Ghislaine is how
Mm-hmm.
I've been pronouncing it. And it's kind of crazy. You can tell the pain and sorrow that she's feeling, but it's kind of locked in time where they didn't bring the
Yeah.
dragon here. It was more that she was being transported through her own realm, and then like I said, just a projection because she tries to spit fire and everything. There's not much really going on. We know that there's the darkling that's in the center of this as well, that the Ix are trying to bring alive, is what I would say.
Hmm.
And is there another shift? There must be another shift to
Yeah,
Tam.
there was a shift in the
Yeah.
middle of there was like a I
Okay.
feel like there were a couple of shifts between what Tam
Be-
is doing and
yeah, what came back? Okay, so
yeah.
then yeah, so after we get the ghost of Ghislaine coming and starting to roar, we do shift over back to Xana, and this is when Xana shifts back into human form, and she's rushing over to Liz. First, she
Yep.
gives Alexa a big old hug, but she realizes that Liz is gonna die. Gwilanna
Mm-hmm.
tells her what's going on, and that since she was stabbed with an obsidian knife, she's poisoned, and this is common. I'm not gonna say common, but this is the effects that this material has on the penny kettle line,
Okay,
Mhm.
is what
yeah,
I'm going to
because
say.
yes, I was like, okay, but all right, all right. I'll I'll hold pin in this. I'll hold it. It comes up later. Okay, yes. So obsidian is poison, except I think later on they say that the knife is fine now because Liz absorbed all the poison and now it's just obsidian. And I'm like, hold on, I thought obsidian was acting like silver for werewolves or iron for fae. Are you meant the knife itself was dipped in poison and now it's fine? What are we doing here? The
Yeah.
magic system. Here's where I'm at. Okay, now I'm mad. Now I'm actually mad. And I understand we've only been dipping in and out of this, and it's maybe this is my own fault. I promised I was going to read these books before we came back, and then I just didn't get them. That's my fault. But like, what is the magic system in this world? What are the rules? It just feels like every time I show up there's a new thing and it's
Mhm.
not clear what we're doing. It kind of feel like I praised the dragon Gwendolyn turning into the ceramic form. Like that
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's not that. It feels like we're just inventing a new thing to like, oh, hey, that mark you have, it can help you turn into a bird now. It's like, since fucking when?
Yep.
I've
I
gotten
know
the
she
same
used it
feeling.
earlier to take away some guy's memories because I read that in the synopsis.
Yep.
What is this magic system? It feels like we're just making up rules when you need them.
Mhm.
Well, and I think that's what's been difficult about this is that, with the series that must not be named,
Mm.
they have pretty easy rules on how to follow what magic is.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, they have kind of everybody has rules.
Avatar, you know
Avatar,
exactly.
Yep.
Aragon, you know what kind of physical
Yep.
allowance you have versus the spells that you can cast. I've
Yeah.
never seen any rules in these books based on what you can and can't do. It's more about like what the author needs
I
at
was
that
literally
Yeah.
going to
moment.
say convenience.
Yeah.
Not even, and I like it's. I'm even hesitant to call it a magic system at all because magic's like
Mhm.
it's like it's just a really soft magic system, and I don't think it is. I don't think it's a system. We're just playing
Mhm.
Calvin Ball here, which can be fun if that's the intent. But here's okay. I'm realizing why I'm angry at it. Why I'm getting irrationally mad is because it feels like the way the magic is presented in a way that we would present a magic system that has really hard and fast rules that requires certain pieces to be in a certain way to do the magic, right? Like it comes across as
Oh,
if it's
I'm
being
so
held.
sorry.
No, but so it just I think that's what frustrates me when we get to these parts that where there is so much magic going on. There's no indication that it is why is it working this way? It just is working this way. Like the dragons, our little dragons can sometimes they are made of clay and they can turn into an actual clay solid form or they are in their living mobile forms. That's a rule and we know it. So when it gets used in this fight sequence, it feels deeply satisfying because
Mhm.
oh yeah, like we know that can happen and it feels like we as the readers could have like solved that because we were given the clues. Being told that Xana can turn into a bird earlier, I don't feel like as a reader you could have sat there and been like, oh, this traffic is so crazy. You're like, well, Xana can do this magic XYZ. Maybe she can use that to solve the problem. No. Oh, we have the eye of Gwaine. Like, maybe we can use that to cast this message across. Like, no, when are we supposed to do that? Like, oh. And then let me not get to the scale that Xana just has buried in the garden.
Yep.
Yeah,
I thought that was
early.
interesting.
You said it right on, Lucy. It feels like it's just convenient to when the author needs to do a thing, and he has not bothered to set up rules to solve the problem later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was convenient because we had the scale at the end of Firestar, but we never got what happened to it. So for Xana to end up with it was kind of, again, a Vox Ex Machina kind of situation. At least
I
what it
wondered.
felt like to me.
Yeah, I was wondering if we, the readers, knew she had this. Like, did she have it early? Did she even think about the thing buried in the garden at all?
Never.
Oh, I'm so cross. Oh, I'm quite put out.
All right, so then we get another shift after you're right. Xana pulls out the scale of Gwaine in that point. And Tam is learning all of this through the Ix that Gwilanna's mom used to be, or was supposed to be, the one that was illuminated with Ghislaine. Illuminated is when the dragons become commingled with these things and are
Thank you.
Enlightened is the best way to describe it. And so that's after they're illuminated is when they go into the Ix's realm, or it would be the Fane's realm, the good version, Chimera. And then they go to just live off whatever life. We don't really get a description on what happens once they're in that world, at least yet, or that I even remember. So then Tam is able to pull away from the stone. It's being really, really hard. He's trying to focus as much as possible, but he can feel that little bit in the back of his mind. And then Lucy, he realizes, didn't put a heart into the Darkling, and that's what's able to put a big halt to everything. And the Ix are starting to put this together at the same time. And then we get a 7th shift already, or maybe this is shift number 8 now that I had the fixture in my notes. But Arthur comes down. I don't know if he was coming from work or if he just comes, or no, it says that he was in the trance, right? He apologizes, says that he was stuck in this realm, well, not realm, but stuck in this trance that the whole world is, because they're pretty much gathered all at the Pennykettles' houses and singing this hymn / with rhythmic dragon song tongue that's going on. And Xana transforms Gwilanna back into human form, because Gwilanna's saying that that's the only way she's going to be able to help Liz is if she has her own magics, because it's going to take too long to try to teach Xana how to do it herself. I think that was a flat out lie. I think Gwilanna could have explained real quick. It was just
she was holding the situation hostage.
100%.
Oh, for sure.
But Arthur is the one that convinces Xana to just do it, as well as Lucy. They're all begging Xana to just please let it happen. Obviously, we don't want Liz to die.
Even if Gwilanna, God, sorry, I totally forgot. Okay, even if like Gwilanna is lying about it taking too long, she's not willing to help unless she does this, right?
Yep.
And that the time it's going to take to argue about it is the thing that's going to lose the time that Liz has left. So Xana just has to do this to save Liz. And it's like, oh, Gwilanna, you bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we get some, I guess might be in the epilogue that we get this. Or no, it's right here. Gwilanna was saying that they're asking, is she gonna live? Is everything okay? Gwilanna says that Liz.
No, she breaks the scale, right? And like the green.
She squeezes the scale.
She squeezes
it
puts
almost
that
like
in
milks
her
it.
wound.
Yeah, in her wound. With she puts it in her mouth, and then spits onto there, because she says she has to dilute the scale blood, whatever it is, because Gwilanna says because the pure essence of the Ichor would kill her. The pure, so she's like, I had to dilute it, and I'm like, did you just say that, or are you just wanting like a little taste of whatever?
Yeah, right.
That is?
I don't have anything
I'm like, I don't trust her at all. No way. way.
But yeah.
Yeah,
But they
and exactly, just to harm her in some way. But then after all those questions are being asked, Gwilanna says that Liz will live, but she's not sure about the unborn baby.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, like
being
the
weirdly
child
cagey
she's
about it, and
yeah,
then
she's
she's like,
being
"Oh
weirdly
yeah,
cagey about it. But I probably because it seems like no one else knew Liz was pregnant.
yep,
Well, that's what I was going to say is this was the first mention in all of these books that that was happening, period. And
mm,
especially for it to be a natural born baby, because I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you guys were, I know they kind of talk about it later into the book, but the penny kettles are born through an egg.
mhm,
Yeah,
They
they
create an
hatch.
egg and then they hatch, yeah, and then boys can be dragons, girls are usually carbon copies of themselves.
Uh-huh.
But I've never heard or seen anything of a natural born child.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I'm also like wondering like do the penny kettle women tend to actually hook up with men long term?
mhm,
I've never
Cuz
really gotten that vibe.
yeah,
I've always gotten the vibe of they kind of stick to themselves and that
yeah. They're out
they
here
want to,
doing magic.
yeah, I was going to say they want to hand down their lineage and their heritage to only their line and not have
Yeah.
to bring anybody in.
And there's
But
also the implications like overarching society. Like if you bring a dude into this and he's not chill, like is he going
yeah,
to freak out? Is he going to call her a witch and drag her to the village square? Is he going to
mhm,
forbid her from being able to do her thing anymore, right? Like it seems like Arthur is the unusual element in
mhm,
this situation.
yeah. Yeah, and but Arthur has been described as a guy who's very open-minded.
Yeah, we love
He's one
Arthur.
of the
yeah,
well-educated guys, and he always believed in dragons before, and that's why him and Liz were so easily together.
Yeah.
So then we get another shift directly from that back to Tam, and
yep,
after he's able to pull away, there's a voice on a wind from another world that says, "This
Uh-huh.
is my gift to you."
Right,
It's
'cause it
starting
started
to snow.
snowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started snowing, and then randomly there was two snowflakes that landed on his hands in the shape of polar bears.
I got the later too. They describe it. I feel like the snowflakes were all polar bear shaped.
Oh,
Is
Yeah.
kind of the
interesting.
vibe I got. Is that
Yeah,
it
because
was
Okay.
later when Tam's talking, they're like, "Listen, snow isn't weird," and he's like, "Snow in the shape of polar bears is pretty weird, gang."
yeah. So it was kind of like the vibe I got where it wasn't just those two flakes. It was this was snowing polar bear shaped snowflakes. And I also got the impression that the snowflake is what dissolved the Ix and also the Darkling. Like this
Yeah, is
snow
that
of
what
polar
happened?
bears is kind of the vibe I got that they all dissolved because of this snow. Yeah,
I'm
but I'm
not
not too sure.
fully positive on that because that's what I was saying was what I was confused on is there was no real resolution or no real definitive they were defeated. It
Yeah,
just
they
there
were
was a
fully
They're just
defeated.
feeling,
Yeah.
yeah.
gone. Yeah, and all of the other dudes are like, "Okay, hey, I'm a guest here in many, many ways.
No,
Is
please,
this book
please.
good?"
I would say this one out of the first four is my least favorite.
Okay, okay. What
My
the hell
favorite in
is
this whole
happening?
series is Darkfire,
Uh
but
huh.
this one again has always felt like a placeholder. Like, okay, I'm writing this big one, let me give you this just to hold you over. Like he wanted to make this
Oh,
almost one
interesting.
ginormous book, but it was like, here, let me split it right here, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay, because it's also like we're walking away from like what just happened with the snow and the polar bear. It's like we're not sure how that, like everything else feels weird and cluttered, but ultimately I do kind of get what happened.
Mhm.
This is so weird, and I'm like, Chris, did you also not really know what happened here? Because it's very clear that you know what happened in the Penny Kettle Garden. Like that's
Yeah.
very clear and very
Yes.
strong. And this was maybe we needed to resolve Tam and the Darkling. I don't really know how to do that. I'm not super invested in what's going on here, so hand wave a little bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the snow happens and it dissolves them and we're done.
Yeah.
Another
Like,
thing
and
I
then Diego,
wasn't
you said
positive.
earlier you were shocked to find out we could even kill these things.
Yeah.
So, but then all of a sudden, like, they're all gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, with no mention of where they went or what
Yeah.
happened, because from the end of the book, to me, the portal and the Arctic is still covered in what's going on magical
Yeah.
wise,
Yeah.
or however you want to say that. So there's no reason for them to have completely disappeared. And
Yep.
that's what got
And
me is with this voice. Oh, go ahead, Lucy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was just going to say what the other thing too is with the Ix being gone, there's no like collateral damage, if that makes sense. Like they're gone and everything is fine. It's not like their influence did anything or like harmed the monks that they were doing, or even like, oh, the island that they were on is now like inhabitable, nothing can grow here or like something.
Yeah.
It's just they're gone and everything's fine now. And it's just like, okay. That was like
Yeah.
me. I always like if like something like that, I just personally like to see like there is a little bit of like residue of like this bad thing happened and it's leaving this scar behind. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
that we can't move forward, but just this like residue of this. So it's like, oh no, it's all fine and lovely and they're all gone. I'm like, for me it was a little unresolved. I'm just like, okay.
That's how I felt about it. It was very like, even though this was the climax, it was very unclimactic for me.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
But so we get that voice from another world on the wind and the polar bear snowflakes. And my question was this David? Does David have some form of influence? Because we know that David, when that light came out, said we're
That's
going
so
to travel, and he knew about Farlow Island.
That was what I
yeah.
thought. I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
think
such a
David
fair
had something to
point.
do.
I
Yeah.
would have liked to
Yeah.
seen some interaction between Tam and
Yes.
David,
Yes.
but
Hey, well, okay. Tam's eyes change color.
yes,
Um, why?
no clue about that either. Because
Is
from
he
what
now
I got,
also polar bear? Is
okay,
he
see, so
also
that's what
polar
I
bear?
got. Is it to me? It sounds like somehow he got the ability to become what David is, where he can shapeshift through, like Bergstrom was as well, where they were
Yeah.
the Inuit shaman and had that ability. But I don't know. David had to die in order to do that with a polar bear of significant importance. Had to die and be
Yeah.
joined. I don't know how Tam just magically got that without the author saying, "I need you."
I will
Yeah.
say, I was gonna say, I'm like, there is a similarity between just like with what I like listened to with Tam and like how Tam reacted to the world, and then after this situation where he it comes back in the epilogue and is interacting with Zayn and all that, I feel like there is a little bit of David vibe going on where
Yeah.
he's like, I know you hate me, but that's okay. I'm just here to protect you, kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
He talks about
And
how he's
so
like, I feel like I desperately need to be protecting y'all now.
yeah.
It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So I that does make sense if he's become something similar to David that like David like how everyone was mentioning in at the beginning of the episode where like David feels cold and distant and like ethereal almost
Yeah,
is like that
detached. I wouldn't even say
detached, yes.
cold, but detached.
Detached, yeah. And I'm like that kind of feels like what Tam is Tam's
At
vibe
this
at
point,
the end. Like
yeah.
that's kind of also the similar vibe. So that makes a lot of sense that
Especially
he's
in the
become
epilogue too,
similar.
when he comes
Yeah.
back, he's
Mm-hmm.
very different in the way
Yes.
that he was acting.
Yes, and how he presents himself. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so then we get a ninth shift, or maybe the 10th shift of what I was talking about,
I
and
want to die.
Yeah, literally.
This is
Literally.
too much.
we know that Gwilanna is talking to everyone and saying that Liz is going to have a boy if the
Mhm.
baby lives, which is a pretty big deal because Gwilanna says that boys aren't very common, and if they're given too much power, they can be trouble.
Mm.
They can have too much power. Gwilanna, so Xana and Lucy are both pleading with Gwilanna to stay at least until they know that Liz is going to live. And
Yeah.
we know that Gwilanna has now been able to keep Gawain's scale or
Mm-hmm.
isosceles, whatever they were using. I don't
Mhm.
know how that just fell through the cracks between Xana. I figured Xana would have the wherewithal or the mind to be like, oh, I should probably keep this power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But she didn't.
Oh, she
And
does. No, we just decided that Xana has just squirted stupid sauce in her eye during
Yeah.
this stuff
Yes.
because she makes the exact same mistake when we talk about the obsidian knife, and it
That's
makes
Yep.
me
what I was just
so
about to bring up
mad.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Luce. Were you gonna say anything?
Oh, I was literally like the fact that they're like, "No, Gulana, you have to stay," and oh, you're not a threat anymore. Like that's like they're like, "You're not a threat anymore. It's fine." I'm like, "Y'all are dumb." Like,
Yeah.
there's no way. There's no way she's not going to turn around and stab y'all in the back. Have you like my only interaction with her was what we first read and this, and I'm like, "Y'all have y'all forgotten all
Yeah,
the
and
bad stuff she did? Like, holy cow!"
nothing's changed. Nothing's happened to her to
Nothing
make
has
her
changed.
change as a
Literally
person. So
nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way. But then we also get to the obsidian knife where she's telling Xana that it's basically garbage. Xana believes her for some reason and decides to throw it away. But when
Yeah.
Gwilanna does her last look into the garbage, she notices that there's a still little spark of lightning in
Uh-huh.
the obsidian. But it's described as this is actually the last little bit of pure dark fire, which is what they
Yeah.
need in order to make the Darkling be
Yeah.
alive.
It was
And we find
so
that out
weird.
about yeah. Go ahead, sorry, Darian.
Well, I was gonna say like that interaction is so weird because Xana's like, hey, is this dangerous? And Gwilanna's like, no, the poison is gone, and so it's just obsidian. And Xana's like, this is really pretty. Like, I feel like maybe I should take it to the shop and sell it, just because I feel like it would go. Like, someone would love just a knife made of obsidian. And Gwilanna insists that it's garbage. She's like, okay, well, I'll throw it away. And then Gwilanna also like reacts like she's like, no, don't do that. Like, she clearly shows her hand, reveals she wants it, and then Zana, like, just to, like, jab at her, throws it in the trash and it breaks, right? And so she thinks it's done with it. And that's when we cut to Gwilanna and she takes it. So we know, okay, it wasn't the knife itself, it's something within it that she wanted.
Yeah.
And okay, Xana couldn't have known that. That's pretty reasonable. I'll give her a pass on that. Except when she finally talks to Lucy later. But we'll circle back to that.
And I feel like even if this person is telling you that it's garbage, in my own opinions, I would believe that this, since it was already a conduit, would still have the ability to be a conduit again.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I would just hold that in safekeeping myself,
Yeah.
knowing that it can't be used.
Do you
other
have a
than try to
fireproof
throw it away.
safe for documents? Put
Yeah,
it in there.
Literally, it's also like if somebody that I know had like backstabbed me before and was like, "Oh, it's just garbage," I'm gonna be like, "I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it hidden because
Yeah.
I don't trust you at all."
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of that long chapter.
Yeah, so long.
And then
And
we'll
now
just
we're in
kind
the
of
epilogue.
yeah, I was gonna say we'll just kind of speed run the epilogue because anything crazy happens, and it's to me. I was talking to Lucy about this at the beginning before everybody was on. That this is one of the longest epilogues I've read in a book.
Yeah.
This is not
usually
an epilogue.
No, that was
should have been a chapter.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking like it starts as an epilogue, but then it does not end as an epilogue. Cuz like the whole like, oh, everything kind of goes back, like this happened, like really quick, like this person does this person does this person. I'm like, okay, this is epilogue. But then like halfway through you're like, this is no longer an epilogue. This
No,
is just a
we
chapter.
We stop having this bigger overview and we
Yep.
go into like the moment by moment experience.
Yep, and
Just
it's like
call
it's
it a chapter.
yeah, it's literally like what we were doing the last chapter, but the tensions aren't as high now. We're like
Yeah.
switching perspective, boom, 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 boom. I'm just like, this is so weird. This is not an epilogue. Should not have called it an epilogue. Should have been in just a chapter.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just ended on the chapter. But so basically, just to summarize it, quick few things. Xana is running the household with Gwilanna, with Liz being on bed rest.
Mhm.
Gwilanna is staying with Henry Bacon, the neighbor. Shout
Henry,
out to
no.
Yeah.
Henry. I mean, I love that Henry thinks that he's like got his own weird witchy goth baddie. Like that's
Yep.
clearly where Henry's a little at. Like he's being like a flirty gentleman, and he thinks
Yep.
like maybe there's something there. And I'm like, someone save Henry.
Yep.
And
No,
I
he
mean,
doesn't deserve
Xana
this.
tries to at the end when she's gone, like, hey, you need to stay away from her. But
No.
yeah,
The
so we
pining.
know that Gwilanna is staying with the family and she's helping Liz. Liz has been in and out. I got from this epilogue, I got like it's maybe been a week and she's still slowly coming back. She'll wake up
Yeah.
for little bits, then go back down. Lucy is extremely depressed. She's having a
Mhm.
hard time dealing with it. She's not taking care of herself. She's not really cleaning herself. So it's been pretty tough. But
depression.
Xana, yeah,
Yep.
the depression. And Xana has been keeping the house running to a point, that Arthur is going back and teaching, and Xana's saying that he doesn't need to stay. She can handle this. He needs to go do his part and earn an income.
We have to buy groceries.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then
Xana has to tell Liz that her dragon is gone.
Yep.
yes,
That
there's
was
one
so
point.
sad.
Yeah.
It was especially because, and what sucks about that is there was no mention of that in the
At all.
story in
Okay,
the book.
I thought That must have been a blink and I missed it line. I must have just missed it when that happened. Okay, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah,
Here's the
no,
thing. I
wasn't.
would have flipped back to check. The ebook version is so poorly formatted.
It's really bad.
It's
Yeah.
really rough. Like,
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can't, because I was like, I couldn't flip back because then I would have taken an eternity to find where I was at because there wasn't just a way to type in. So I was like, you know what? I just thought, oh, I must have missed that and didn't go verify. So I'm glad to know, no, I didn't miss
No,
it.
you
This
didn't.
is supposed to just
They
be
didn't
another
mention it at all.
shocking thing for the audience to read.
Yeah, which, I mean, sometimes there's got to be some of those, and I understand that some deaths are going to be off screen anyway, but like, that's kind of a big deal for one of our
Yeah.
dragons to be gone.
Yeah,
And
and we
especially
were-
Gwillan, who's been with us from the start.
He
Yeah.
deserved to have a moment for us to experience that on
Yeah,
the
like-
page. And especially with how Chris was describing everything in
Yeah.
such detail during those sequences. It's weird that we held this off to just be a shock factor for us.
Yeah. I think like what would have been better if like you wanted to keep the shock factor, why don't you end like that scene or that thing being like, hey, where is Gwyneth? Where hey, has anyone seen I
Yes.
can't remember the dragon's name. And then it
Gwillan.
end right there and
Gwillan.
then we cut to the epilogue and then
Yes.
da 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 da.
I
And
agree,
then it's like
I agree.
yeah, I think that would have been a little bit because that gives us a bit of oh no, and then we're like, oh no kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, so we know that. Okay, here let's get to during that time when Liz wakes up for a quick second. Xana tells her that Lucy starts to get a little bit better, but she goes and she starts crying.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lucy
She
finally
finally-
cries. She finally
Yes.
has the emotional breakdown she's been needing to have.
She's
Yes.
been yes, exactly.
Mhm,
Desperately needed.
And so Xana tries to go and comfort her. They talk a little bit. Lucy opens up about everything about Tam, what happened on Farlow Island, about the Ix and how she was being mind controlled. And so Xana, after calming her down a little bit, Lexi comes up and is asking if Lucy's okay, and she tells her that Lucy might need a story, might be good. She's just a little
Yeah.
bit sad. And so Alexa takes her by the hand and they go to start read something.
One of the dragons go with them. I thought that
Yep.
I liked that.
Yeah.
As like, oh, I think, oh, 'cause she doesn't. I like that Xana doesn't prompt the story. She prompts Lucy or Lexi. Hey, we just started using nicknames, and I was like, I need this to stop. Don't
Yeah.
put this in the text. The prose. Why you can't just jump at who's Lexi? At
Yep.
the start of the epilogue, calls her Susanna, and I'm like, who's
Yes.
Suzanne?
Yeah.
I literally,
Oh,
I was
Susanna,
looking,
yeah.
I was like, who is Susanna?
That's
And
why
then I
like,
was
oh,
looking
that's
at the
why it's
name and I was like,
epilogue.
oh, Xana. Okay,
Yeah.
I see it. Okay.
Well, I think they've only named her. I think they've only called her Susanna like maybe twice, 2 or 3
Yeah.
times through this entire series so far. So
Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. But she's like, oh, Lucy will need some company, and it's little Alexa who's like, oh, do you need a story? And I'm like, shit, that's cute.
Yeah.
All right, you got me. I got littles, and they're starting to. Yeah, that didn't feel like a twee, so cutesy thing. Like that felt like a sincere response, like a 5-year-old would have. So
Yep.
I dug that. But one of the things here, so let's circle back to the stupid obsidian knife nonsense, and Xana just squirting stupid sauce in her eye.
Yep.
Is that she compliments Lucy. She's trying to comfort her. She's like, hey, but you didn't put the heart in. Like, that was
Oh,
really smart
yes.
of you.
Yes.
And then Lucy reveals, like, oh, yeah, where's the knife? That's why you kept. She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, the heart is in the knife. And Xana's like, oh, well, it'll be out with the bin tomorrow. Like, basically, the garbage men are going to grab it tomorrow and it'll be dust. And hey, Xana? No?
Yeah.
What do you mean you just found out that this knife is a powerful dark relic, actually, a powerful evil relic, and you're just, oh, it's fine. We'll let the garbage men take care of it. And you're not going to go like, ooh, I should go grab that out of the trash. And
Right?
I will figure out what to do.
real quick, yeah, and
yeah,
I'd
real
be
quick.
sprinting.
She doesn't even check for it. And then even we have her, she thinks she throws it away, but she doesn't hear it. And she doesn't check. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
This is a character who is acting completely out of character for the sake of the plot. Because we don't want the characters to know that Gwilanna has this. And Gwilana's like jazzed as hell because she's like, I've got this thing. I've got the scale. I've got this dark fire. I'm in good shape. And it feels unreasonable to not have Xana realize that, especially because we just take Gwilanna away.
Yeah.
Like, she disappears. She goes off, we think probably to the island in Scotland or something. Like,
Yep.
it's kind of suggested that's where she went because she told Henry she wanted to go on a holiday, and Henry looked up all this stuff, and then she just disappeared. And so why can't Xana know, oh, shoot, Gwilanna has this, but it's too late to do anything?
Yeah.
And that just feels like it's supposed to be a thing we keep from our other characters for the future. So they're acting without this important information. And it just felt so out of character for Xana not to be more concerned about this knife, especially when she is told by Lucy that, oh, it's not just an obsidian knife. It's the heart of this
darkling is
make.
in this. Yep.
Yeah.
She should have just been able to put two and two in her mind at the very beginning of why this knife was special, in my opinion, since it was made out of obsidian. I guess she didn't know about the Darkling until Lucy talked to her about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as soon as she got that information, it should have been a connection. Bam, bam.
Yeah, like
run
in the
to
moment,
the trash, pull out the trash.
Yes, in the moment we can reassure Lucy that, oh yeah, the bin man will take it and it's fine. And then after Lucy is gone, run react to that.
Yes.
Like, oh, stay calm, don't want to freak out Lucy, and then react and then find it's gone.
Yeah.
But no, and it's just, this last part of the book just has some really cool kick-ass descriptions and also some really weirdness that, as you said, Diego, is just meant to set up the next book in a way that is underserving this book and us as the readers.
Yes. So at this point, too, Xana has questions on where Tam's at. She's speaking to Arthur. Arthur has contacted his friends and his previous monks over at Farlow Island. They said that there's been no mention or nothing that they know about of somebody named Tam, but there is a rowboat gone from their little stable. And then in the Arctic, they know that it's still covered in the mists and all this crazy changes are happening. But from what they understand, the Ix have been defeated for now. Again, there's been no mention on how that happened or where they went or anything of that.
Yep.
We then get a shift back over and we get Tam knocking on the door. I just said Tam comes to Crescent number 42. Xana is very hesitant to talk, but then is kind of, I don't want to say subdued, is kind of convinced to let him in and talk. Persuaded, thank you. That's a great word. Persuaded to talk to Tam after Alexa comes in and is being very sweet, asking if he wants tea and cookies and wants to talk a little bit. At this point, Gwilanna comes in as well.
Oh, this is so weird.
Yeah, she searches Tam and she's like, we've met before. How have we met before? She seems almost scared of him, says that he smells of bear. And to me, this just means that since they've met before, there must be a Fane within him as well. So the Fane is the good faction of it, and then the Ix are the bad faction. So I think whatever David did helped him connect with the Fane as well. So I think that's how Tam is able to switch back and forth, is my theory. But again, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah.
So after that, oh yeah, I even have here on my question, has he spoke with David? No, nothing mentioned.
Nope,
it says
not sure.
Gwilanna has taken off to the island, which we just talked about. And then,
I forgot. She sees Tam and then decides she's gonna bounce.
Yep.
Yeah, and then this is one part that made me feel really bad for Liz, but she's been in and out. One of these times that she wakes up, David is there, and he's holding Gwillan. And she's confused. She's asking if it's her time, if she's dying, because she's still under the impression that David's gone. And now she knows that Gwillan's gone. So it's just this like, okay, I'm accepting it. But David says that he's there to help everyone, including Gwillan, which I don't know if that means that we're going to bring Gwillan back to life.
Right. What does he say, like, about his fire tier? You can still find it? Like, what was that? He said something
or it's
weird
not
about
gone or something.
Yeah.
It's not fully gone. But to me, even though Gwillan was taken from us without any big hoorah,
Fanfare.
no mention, no fanfare, I wouldn't want him to be brought back, because I believe that if your story is to have I don't know how to describe this. If your story is
Stakes,
going to have stakes, thank you.
impact, yeah.
The death needs to last. You
Yeah.
can't just bring everybody back.
Yes, I 100% was going to say the exact same thing. I have such an issue with characters getting to be brought back,
Yeah.
especially after we have had an intense mourning sequence about them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it feels like it just, like you said, it undercuts the stakes. You don't get to and it also, this is probably coming from me and my own like past and loss and stuff, where you lose someone and you don't just get them back. Like, it's not, even in this world of magic, like, yeah, David is here and he didn't die. It's like, yeah, but there were like there were polar bears and cardinal directions and dragon and magic. Like, if the circumstances of one's death is fantastical, then okay, we can play with that.
Yeah.
But Gwillan's was so simple.
Mm-hmm.
And the dragons, they die when they cry their fire tear, right? Like, that is an established part of the lore. And he saw Liz on the ground and thought she was dead and could not bear to go on without her. Like, if it is so, to call it simple, I don't mean that as a dismissive or belittling thing, but sometimes death is a simple thing.
Well,
Not the impact of death and loss, but just the act of it is just what kind of happens in life.
Yeah.
I liked the
that's the case-
simplicity of it because
Yes.
it made sense. He set that up. It stayed within the boundaries, and this Gwillan had been the protector and been in her household for years. So it, to me, made sense. I just
Yes.
don't want to see him brought back for no reason.
Exactly. Yeah, if it made sense and it follows, and sometimes where there is life, there is loss. And if we're going to do it that way, then what do we have to gain in the narrative to bring this character back all of a sudden, or suggest that he can come back? And what are we as the reader supposed to understand from that after the fact?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So David then, in this interaction, also asks Liz to tell Xana to go to the gardens.
Because he
And
can't
this-
just go downstairs and talk to his partner and child.
Yep. He's like, no, I
That's-
have to meet them at this specific place.
That's exactly what my first, even in my notes, was, because could David not do this? Like, what the heck?
Yep.
So then I'm just going to cut forward a little bit because there's an interaction between Xana and Liz. They're talking, but Liz tells her. So Xana takes Lexi. They're going down. She passes her shop down on that street as well. Lexi is pretty excited to see the squirrels. She wants to go see Conker and the old grave that they had dug for him. And then that's when they see David. Xana is pretty shaken and doesn't know what to do or say. Obviously, I'd be pretty upset. I've been on through this whole book that if David's alive, why has he not contacted them, period? Like, I would be upset in Xana's
I would be
shoes.
so mad. I'm
I'd
like,
be
you've been alive this
so
whole
mad.
time?
Yeah.
How fucking dare you?
I mean, I've been mad for Xana. Right, I guess that's it. I've just been mad for Xana.
Yeah.
David. Like, man, you're just being a dick.
Yes.
You couldn't send her a
Yes.
dream vision or something, Polar Bear
Or
Boy?
anything? Like, come on.
Yeah. But so then just to end this section, we get that after they've embraced, they've talked a little bit that dragons have now re-entered this world. And that is the end of the Fire Eternal.
Yep.
Lucy and Darien,
Uh-huh.
is there anything that we missed or didn't touch that you guys want to speak on?
No, I think I got most of my complaints out. I just have one more. Yeah, the last line is like, dragons have returned. And I'm like, because dragons are flying overhead? Is that what you mean, Chris? I think that's what you mean, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if what he meant is there are actual real regal dragons flying above, or if it's just David being vaguely a Jesus vibe metaphor.
Yeah.
I'm not alone in that. When he appeared holding little Gwillan and talking to, I'm here to help everybody, I'll bring him back to life, basically, I was like, okay.
Put
Okay,
your
there are some
hands.
vibes now.
Put your hands in mine and put your hand in my side. Like,
That's where suddenly I was like, oh, is that what we're doing? He was dead and he has risen? Like, what are we doing, Chris?
I did, for me, is like, I read that last line and I literally said out loud, that's a weird way to end this book, because where's the proof? What dragons? Are we just going to take your word for it, David? Like, what are you talking about? There's
What are
no
you
evidence
talking
in
about,
any way,
David?
shape, or form that actual dragons have returned. There's no evidence. There's nothing that been on the news except the weird Arctic like storm going on, and there's nothing. There. What do you mean dragons have returned? There's no evidence that that has happened. So that was me. It's like that.
Yep.
That's a weird way to end this book.
I'm
no
jumping
evidence.
into my ebook right now so I can like. Will you let me open it? Come on.
I was like, my phone's like way over there. I'm not gonna get up.
Oh yeah. Above their heads, the sky was suddenly lit by a brilliant, all-encompassing sweep of violet. Alexa looked up and gasped, "What is it?" "A kind of angel," said David, "for there was the great light in the north, and dragons had returned to Earth once more." Okay. So, did we see an actual dragon, or is it the Northern Lights?
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to be obtuse. I'm literally trying to understand the way this was described because it is explicit. What they're seeing is the lights.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that equate to the dragons being back? Like, Diego, is there elements in the book earlier that have solidly equated the Northern Lights with the presence of dragons?
Not at all.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we
So
don't
we
even
see
get
where I'm at.
confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't even get confirmation that dragons have returned until the prologue of Darkfire. So, yeah.
So yeah, as you said
absolutely
at the
nothing.
beginning, this whole sequence, this whole book feels like it's just set up to start Darkfire.
Mm-hmm.
And that is crazy to me. Just write Darkfire then.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Make this a short, maybe longer prologue, but you could have done everything that you did in 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah. And just maybe
literally.
throughout Darkfire, we get a couple flashbacks of the important things. But then it forces him to pick what's actually important. I don't know if Liz getting, like, almost killed was important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I so much appreciate your patience with me and willing to stay through this. This was a huge chapter. It's going to be my longest episode yet.
It is my goal to be on longest episodes of other podcasts.
Yes.
I am honored. I never shut up. So I'm often the
I
longest
appreciate
episode
it.
ever.
You guys bring so much more insight than I can even think of, and just having different
thank you.
perspectives and opinions. It's I can't ever express how much gratitude I have for you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
I
for
am
having
going
us.
to end with the question that I asked you guys at the beginning.
Oh,
If you guys could have the ability to switch back and forth between polar bear and human, or have the dragon that's tailored towards you, I think I'm going to know the answer, but why don't you guys tell the audience what you guys would prefer?
Dragon.
Dragon.
I don't want what would
Dragon.
I do as a polar bear? I hate the cold. I'm not an outdoor kid. What business do I have being a polar bear? Dragon, please.
Dragon, please.
That seems to be the consensus. Everybody that I've asked that question has had the exact same answer.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that? It's also a weird thing to introduce in these books.
Yeah.
Just as a thing that David can suddenly do. Can I? Okay. Hey. There is a little bit of the weirdness of, like, the white guy can do this now. Like, there's a shaman and the Inuits. Anyway, this white man has this power. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's out of nowhere. Yeah.
Kind of like,
nowhere. Oh, okay. Yeah, this book is trippy.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Diego, I will take you up on that offer. I'll send you my address if you want to send me one of those packs, because I'm just going to read them all. I'm tired of coming on this
100%.
show and having to ask you questions about this stuff. Like, that's got to be annoying for listeners. Like, I want to do good by this podcast. You've had us on so many times, and it's such a pleasure. I want to be a better guest next time. So I will
I appreciate you
absolutely
guys
take you up
being
on
here.
that offer.
But if you guys both want to give me an address, I 100%, like I said, I'm staring at 3 right here. That's on my desk. So I would be more than happy to go put them in the mail today. But with that being said, why don't you guys let the people know where they can find you as well?
Yeah.
Lucy, would you like to, or do you want me to do it? I do have
You
it in
could. You
mind.
do such a good job. You go right ahead.
I do it on a lot of different podcasts.
Yes.
I hope so. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us again. If you liked our vibe and the energy, we promise we're just kind of like this all the time. You can find us over on Eragon and Back Again. It is our podcast. We are discussing another young adults dragon series from the early 2000s.
Yes.
Christopher Paolini's Inheritance Cycle. You can join us over there, and we also do the breakdown, the world building, the Did This Make Sense? I yell at a man named Chris.
Yes.
So come find us over there. We are on all of your favorite podcasting apps.
Yes. Yes. Come listen. Come join us.
Come
I
join
will
us.
put all of the links down in the description as well.
Thank you, Diego.
Ladies, thank you so
Yes.
much. I appreciate it. And with that being said, you guys, I hope you join me next week where we're going to be opening up Darkfire with Mike Schubert from over at
Ooh.
TNO.
Ooh.
And have a safe flight out and hit no turbulence.
Good luck. I hear the storms are crazy right now, especially up here.